Have you ever felt completely alone, only to have your life changed in an instant? The unforgiving territories of Arizona and New Mexico, 1984. Jack Lone Wolf Cordell, 32, a former bounty hunter turned drifter who spent 5 years riding solo after losing his partner in a botched job. He's rugged, disillusioned, and convinced that trusting anyone leads to death. Jack rides from town to town, taking odd jobs, breaking horses, protecting merchant caravans, and playing high-stakes poker. He sleeps under stars, drinks alone, and speaks only when necessary. The loneliness has become his armor, his identity. He's stopped even saying his own name aloud. Jack tells himself he prefers solitude, but his dreams are haunted by memories of companionship, laughter around campfires, and the partner he failed to save. The whiskey burns going down, but not as much as the memories. I'm sitting in the back corner of the Copper Ridge Saloon, Arizona Territory, August 1884, where the dust is thick enough to taste, and the piano player can't hold a tune worth a damn. 5 years I've been doing this. 5 years of different towns, same routine. Find a dark corner, order rot gut, and wait for morning so I can ride out before anyone asks my name. Where are you watching from tonight? Drop your location in the comments. I want to know if any of you understand what it's like to disappear into a crowd and feel more alone than if you were standing in the middle of the Sonoran Desert. Because that's what I've become, a ghost in a duster coat. The saloon's packed tonight, miners blowing their wages, card sharks running crooked games, ladies in faded silk doing business upstairs. The air reeks of tobacco, sweat, and desperation. I'm on my third whiskey when the sound of 100 conversations suddenly feels distant, muffled, like my ears are stuffed with cotton. Then I hear it. Jack Cordell, my real name, whispered. A woman's voice, low and intimate, like lips pressed against my ear in the dark. The hair on the back of my neck stands up. My hand drops to the Colt at my hip as I spin around, heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. Nobody's there. Just a fat merchant arguing with a soiled dove. A cowhand passed out in his own vomit. The piano player is massacring something that might have been a waltz in another lifetime. The saloon door swings in the hot wind, creaking on rusty hinges. But then, through the grimy window, I see her. She's sitting astride a paint horse that's too fine for this shithole town, a creature of muscle and midnight colors that probably cost more than most men make in a year. But it's not the horse that stops my breath. It's her. Black duster that falls past her knees, crimson bandana tied at her throat like a splash of blood. Dark hair spilling over her shoulders, wild and untamed as the territories themselves. And her eyes, Christ, her eyes, locked on mine through that filthy window with an intensity that feels like a physical touch. She's beautiful, dangerous, impossible. And she's smiling at me like she knows every secret I've buried in 5 years of running. My pulse is thundering in my ears. How does she know my name? Nobody in Copper Ridge knows who I am. Hell, I haven't spoken my own name aloud since the Tucson job went sideways, since my partner died with my name on his lips, since I decided that Jack Cordell was better off dead and buried. I lunge for the door, boots pounding against warped floorboards, shoving past drunks and gamblers. The night air hits me like a furnace. August in Arizona is hotter than Satan's kitchen, but she's already moving. The paint horse wheels with practiced precision, and she's riding into the darkness beyond the oil lamps, into the vast nothing of the desert. Wait! The word tears out of me, The first time I've shouted in years, but it's swallowed by the night. I stand there in the dusty street, hands shaking, watching her disappear into the moonlit wasteland. Just before she vanishes completely, she turns in the saddle. Even from 50 yards away, I can see that smile. Then she's gone, like a phantom, like something my whiskey-soaked brain conjured from loneliness and regret. Except on the hitching post where her horse stood, tied with a piece of frayed rope, there's something that wasn't there before. A red silk scarf, fluttering in the hot wind like a drop of blood on bone-white wood, and beneath it, carved fresh into the post with a knife, "Remember Tucson." My blood turns to ice despite the heat. Tucson, 6 years ago. The night everything went to hell. The night that made me into the ghost I am today. Who the hell is she, and how does she know what I've spent 5 years trying to forget? For 3 weeks I chase a ghost across the territories. Santa Fe, Albuquerque, Socorro. Every town, same story. A mysterious woman in black asking questions about a man named Jack Cordell. Sometimes she's called La Sombra, the shadow. Other times men whisper about the Red Widow who rides alone and leaves a trail of broken hearts and unanswered questions. I need to know, have any of you ever been haunted by someone you've never met? Someone who feels like destiny and danger wrapped in the same package? Tell me I'm not crazy. I find her messages everywhere, coordinates carved into a bar table in Las Cruces that lead to a canyon where she's left a leather pouch containing $50 in gold and a note, "For the horse you'll need." My initials branded into a saddle blanket in Mesilla. A wanted poster of me from 6 years ago, back when I was a different man with a partner and a purpose, with the word "remember" scrawled across my face in what looks like dried blood, but smells like red wine. She's playing with me, leading me, and God help me I'm following, because nobody's seen me, really seen me, in 5 years, and she does. Somehow, impossibly, she does. The first time we speak, I'm in a hotel room in Santa Fe, stripped to my waist, washing trail dust from my face. I sense her before I see her, the way you sense a storm rolling in across the plains. When I turn, she's sitting in the chair by the window, backlit by the dying sun, cleaning a silver-plated revolver that catches the light like a promise. Up close, she's even more devastating. Auburn hair that curls wildly past her shoulders, eyes the color of aged whiskey, sharp with intelligence and something else, something wounded beneath the confidence. A scar runs along her jawline, thin and white, the kind of mark you earn, not accidentally get. "You don't remember me," she says. Her voice is smoke and honey, the same voice that whispered my name in Copper Ridge. Should I? "Magdalena Reyes, Tucson, 6 years ago." The name hits me like a bullet. Tucson, the banker's mansion, the job that was supposed to be simple. Retrieve stolen bonds, collect the bounty, but there was an ambush. My partner took 3 bullets meant for me, and in the chaos, the screaming, the gunfire, the smell of blood and black powder, there was a girl, the banker's daughter, 16, maybe 17. I shoved her into a cellar, told her to stay quiet, then ran into the firefight that would haunt me forever. Magdalena. She stands, moves closer. She's wearing trail-worn leather pants that hug curves, meant to distract a man from thinking straight, and a white shirt open enough to make me forget my own name. Again. "You saved my life that night, Jack Cordell," she says, stopping inches from me. "Pulled me out of hell while it burned around us. And I've spent 6 years finding you to say thank you." That's a long time for a thank you. Maybe I wanted to make sure you were worth it. Her smile is dangerous. Or maybe I needed you. The tension between us could light a match. Needed me for what? Revenge. She tells me about Marcus Blackwood, the railroad magnate who orchestrated the Tucson massacre when her family wouldn't sell their land. He killed her parents, her brothers, and burned everything she loved. She survived by hiding, by being invisible, by becoming someone else. He's in El Paso now, she says. Rich, powerful, untouchable. I need help taking him down. I don't do that anymore. You don't do anything anymore, Jack. You just run. She touches my chest, right over my heart, and I feel it everywhere. I'm offering you a chance to stop running, to be something again. Over the next 2 weeks, we plan. And God, we're good together. Her cunning, my experience, our shared hunger for something beyond survival. But it's more than that. The way she challenges me over campfire coffee. The way she laughs when I teach her to shoot my Winchester, her body pressed against mine as I adjust her grip. The night in a desert cave when rain traps us, and we finally stop fighting what's been building since Copper Ridge. When she kisses me, it tastes like redemption and ruin, and I don't care which. But here's what I didn't know. I was falling in love with a lie. And the truth? The truth was going to destroy everything. We infiltrate Blackwood's estate during his annual gala, El Paso's elite sipping champagne while the rest of Texas bleeds. Magdalena's in an emerald gown that would make a saint consider sinning. And I'm stuffed into a borrowed suit that makes me feel like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Which, I suppose, is accurate. The plan is clean. Slip into Blackwood's office during his speech, gather evidence of his crimes, and expose him to the assembled politicians and lawmen. Justice, not bullets, Magdalena insisted. But when we're alone in his office, mahogany and leather, and the stench of old money, I find the truth hidden in a locked drawer. Birth certificate, Magdalena Elena Blackwood, born in 860X. Not Reyes, Blackwood. Looking for something? Her voice behind me is cold. When I turn, she's holding her silver revolver, not pointed at me, not yet. But the message is clear. Who are you? My voice cracks like I've been gut shot. I'm his daughter. No shame in her admission. No regret. The Reyes family wasn't victims, Jack. They were my father's partners, who tried to double-cross him. Got greedy. He killed them. And I learned a valuable lesson. Trust no one. Love nothing. Take everything. The girl in the cellar was acting, playing victim while I memorized your face, your name, your weakness. She moves closer, and I see it now. Her father's ruthlessness in the set of her jaw. You were supposed to die in Tucson. But my father's men failed, and you became useful. A loose end I could exploit. If you're still watching, I need you to understand. Have you ever trusted someone so completely that their betrayal didn't just break your heart? It shattered your entire understanding of reality? Drop a comment if you've been there. The past 3 weeks. I'm a good actress, Jack. And you? You were perfect. The noble loner. Desperate to be seen. Desperate to matter again. I almost felt bad about it. Her smile is her father's smile. Almost. Before I can respond, the office doors burst open. Marcus Blackwood enters with 6 armed men, and he's laughing, actually laughing, like this is the finest entertainment he's had in years. Magdalena, darling, right on schedule. But something's wrong. Magdalena's face goes pale. The gun trembles in her hand. Father, I brought him, just like I planned, Blackwood interrupts. Did you really think I didn't know you'd come? I've been tracking you for 6 years, girl. Every move, every pathetic attempt at revenge." He gestures to me. "And Mr. Cordell here? He was the perfect bait. I've had men watching him since Tucson, waiting for you to make contact." "No." Her voice cracks. "No, I found him. You found exactly what I wanted you to find." Blackwood's smile is a predator's smile. "The messages, the clues, even that ridiculous red scarf, all mine. Leading you exactly where I wanted you. To him. Through him. To me." The truth crashes over us both. We've been playing a game where someone else held all the cards. Blackwood's men raised their rifles. "You both rode right into my trap. Now you'll both ride into unmarked graves." In that moment, with death grinning at us from 6 rifle barrels, something passes between Magdalena and me. Recognition. Understanding. We've both been used. Both have been betrayed. Both have been running from ghosts that were never really chasing us. She meets my eyes. "Jack, I'm later," I growl, and dive for her as the first shots explode. We hit the floor together, her body against mine, and it's just like the cave, except this time we're not running from a storm. We're running into one, together. I come up firing, dropping the first gunman. Magdalena's silver revolver barks twice, and 2 more fall. We move like we've been partners for years, not weeks, covering each other, reading each other's movements, turning the office into a war zone. Blackwood runs for the door. Magdalena goes after him, her father, her betrayer, her mirror, and I follow because, despite everything, despite the lies and the con and the shattered trust, I'll be damned if I let her face this alone. Because sometimes the person who breaks you is the only person who can help put you back together. And sometimes the greatest betrayal leads to the most truth. The estate burns behind us as we ride into the desert dawn, orange flames painting the sky like a second sunrise. My shoulder's bleeding from a graze. Magdalena's got a cut above her eye, and we're both covered in soot and blood. Some hours, most not. We don't speak for the first 10 miles. The silence is heavier than the August heat, thick with everything we haven't said. Everything we can't say. Because what do you say to someone who betrayed you? What do you say to someone you fought beside anyway? We stop at a creek where cottonwoods offer shade, and the water runs clear enough to see the stones at the bottom. I dismount, every muscle screaming in protest, and start tending to my horse. She does the same, still silent. Finally, I can't take it anymore. "You used me." The words come out quieter than I intended, not angry, just broken. She freezes, her hands still on her saddle. "I did. The messages, the red scarf, the coordinates, all of it, just baiting your father's trap." "Not all of it." She turns to face me, and tears are tracking through the soot on her face, real tears. "He used me too, Jack. Set me up, just like he set you up. We were both his puppets, dancing on strings we couldn't even see. That doesn't change what you did. What were you going to do?" "No, it doesn't." She moves closer, and I notice her hands shaking, the invincible woman in black, trembling like a leaf. "I came to El Paso planning to use you as a distraction while I robbed my father blind. I wasn't lying about that. I was going to let you take the fall. Every word is a knife, but I need to hear it, need to understand." But then, her voice cracks. "Somewhere between Santa Fe and here, somewhere between your terrible coffee and the way you looked at me like I was worth saving, it stopped being about the con. You made me remember what it felt like to be Magdalena Reyes instead of Marcus Blackwood's daughter. Was any of it real? I hate how desperate I sound. The cave, the planning, all of it. She's crying now, really crying. That's what terrifies me. I've spent 6 years being no one, trusting nothing, feeling nothing, and you damn stubborn ghost of a man, you made me feel everything. I want to hold her. I want to hate her. I want both. And that's the problem. I spent 5 years alone because I couldn't protect my partner, I say, couldn't trust myself with anyone else's life. And the first person I let in, the first person who made me think maybe I could be Jack Cordell again instead of just a ghost riding through the dust. Turned out to be a liar and a con artist, she finishes. I know. I'm sorry doesn't cover it. No, it doesn't. We stand there, two damaged people under the cottonwoods, the desert stretching endlessly around us. She could ride north, I could ride south. We could disappear back into the nothing we came from, return to being ghosts. But then I remember. We fought back to back in that office. When the bullets flew and death came calling, she didn't run. She didn't save herself. She stood with me. My partner, before he died in Tucson, gave you something, didn't he? I ask. A message. She nods. He said if I ever needed help, to find Jack Cordell and say his name. He said you were worth saving. She meets my eyes. He was right. My throat tightens. He sent you to me, even dying. He was trying to save me from myself. Maybe we're both worth saving, she whispers. I look at this woman who destroyed me and saved me in the same breath. This woman who's as broken and lost as I am. And I make a choice that terrifies me more than any gunfight ever could. If we do this, if we ride together, no more lies, no more cons, just the truth, even when it hurts. She takes my hand. No more lies. But could we really outrun the ghosts we'd become, or were we just two broken people pretending the pieces still fit? 6 months later, we're riding through Colorado territory, and I finally understand what home feels like. It's not a place. It's a person riding beside you, arguing about whether to make camp before or after the next ridge. It's shared coffee at dawn and comfortable silence at dusk. It's knowing someone's flaws, all of them, the ugly ones, the dangerous ones, and choosing them anyway. We take jobs together now. Last month we protected a settler family from claim jumpers. The week before that I tracked down a horse thief in Grand Junction. Sometimes the work pays well, sometimes it doesn't. But we're partners, real partners, and that means something neither of us had before. Purpose. Magdalena's different now, softer around the edges, but stronger at the core. She laughs more. This genuine, unguarded sound that still catches me off guard. And when nightmares wake her, they do often as they wake me, I'm there. Just like she's there when mine come calling. We're not perfect, God knows we're not. We fight about directions, about jobs we should or shouldn't take, about whether her coffee is worse than mine. It is. Old habits resurface. She gets that look sometimes, calculating and distant, like she's planning an angle. And I still wake up reaching for a gun, still flinch at sudden noises, still carry the weight of 5 years riding solo. But here's what I learned. Trust isn't about perfection. It's about choosing to believe in someone despite their imperfections, despite their past, despite every logical reason to protect yourself. Tonight we're camped under stars so bright they look like holes punched in the sky, letting heaven's light spill through. The fire's crackling, horses are grazing peacefully, and Magdalena's leaning against my shoulder while I try to remember the chords to a song my mother used to sing. Still think riding solo was better? She asks, that teasing note in her voice I've come to love. I set down the guitar, pull her closer. I spent years riding solo until one night a mysterious cowgirl whispered my name. Turned out, she was the answer to a question I was too afraid to ask. What question? Whether I deserved a second chance, whether I could trust someone again, whether being alone was protection or just cowardice dressed up as independence. She's quiet for a moment, watching the flames. I thought revenge would heal me, thought money would fix what my father broke. But you know what actually saved me? What? Admitting I needed saving, admitting I couldn't do it alone. She looks up at me. You taught me that partnership isn't weakness. It's the bravest thing we can do. Letting someone see us, all of us, and trusting they'll stay anyway. I kiss her forehead, breathe in the scent of desert dust, and hope. We're quite the pair, aren't we? Two ghosts who decided to become real again. The deadliest partnership in the territories, she grins. Well, second deadliest. I heard there's a couple in Wyoming who... Don't even think about it. We're retired from the competition business. She laughs and the sound echoes across the canyon. Just Jack and Magdalena then. No more lone wolf, no more red widow, just us. Just us, I agree. No more riding alone. Here's what I want you to understand. I spent 5 years believing that solitude was strength, that independence was safety, that trusting no one meant never getting hurt. I was wrong about all of it. The truth is, we're not meant to ride through this life alone. The greatest adventures aren't about conquering the frontier, so are about finding someone worth sharing the journey with. Someone who sees your scars and doesn't run. Someone who knows your demons and stands beside you. Anyway, Magdalena whispered my name in a dusty saloon, and my entire world shifted. Not because she was perfect, she wasn't. Not because the path was easy, it wasn't. But because she reminded me that being vulnerable, being seen, that's not weakness, that's courage. If this story moved you, if you've ever felt alone and found connection, or if you're still searching for it, subscribe to Wildwest Outlaw Chronicles. Hit that subscribe button right now, because I've got more tales of redemption, betrayal, and the wild frontier that'll make your heart race and your soul remember what it means to truly live. Every week, new stories of outlaws, lovers, and legends. Don't ride solo through this channel. Join our posse. Subscribe now. The frontier's waiting. And trust me, it's better with company.